You know the difference between children and pets?
Hmm.
Criminal autopsies.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And we doing filmographies.
filmographies.
We're back in the Spike Lee run of things.
We made it. It's the final episode.
Kind of. This is not the final episode for you guys, but it is for us. It's been a few months, and now we're back with Lisa Picard as famous.
We picked the best one to end with.
Yeah, Griffin Dunne.
Yeah, God.
A Griffin Dunne movie.
I feel like all
a Griffin Dunne joint. I'm sorry I had to say it.
Yeah, I feel like all of the goodwill that he gained from me.
Spike?
No, Griffin.
From being an American
From
Werewolf?
After Hours.
Oh.
It goes just completely down the toilet with this movie.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I will say, the best part of this movie for me was the out of context little snippet of the interview with Fisher Stevens when he's basically trying to explain away his role in Short Circuit.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking awesome.
Doing the voice.
As we're fond of saying in my country, marketplace make dull home for rodents.
Where are you from anyway?
Bakersfield originally.
No, I mean your ancestors.
Pittsburgh.
He's like, I mean, I studied with him. I lived with them. And I got to do the race. I was like, that's baller.
Yeah.
I like that. And then he said he took a role away from Cheech Marin because he couldn't play American after that.
After that, it was over for him.
He was hired to be a Mexican.
Yeah.
I thought that was baller.
I love Fisher Stevens.
Yeah. He did that Beckham movie.
Oh, the documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, where David Beckham's like, Victoria, be honest.
Yeah. He requested Griffin Dunne.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
You mean Fisher Stevens?
I mean, Fisher Stevens. He requested Griffin Dunne, and he was like, no. So he goes, what about Fisher Stevens?
I'm doing a sequel to Lisa Picard is Famous.
Yeah. I'm still riding that wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this movie...
what kind of trivia you got for...
I thought this movie was going to be one thing. And in the next few minutes, I was like, okay. I thought it was going to be one thing. I started watching it, and I was like, oh, no. And then I was like, oh, this... And then I was like, oh, yeah, no.
That sounds about right. I was looking forward to it. I actually was like, of the two movies we have to watch, I think this is going to be funny, and I'm going to enjoy watching it. I like Griffin Dunne. I bet you this is good.
Yeah, when I was writing the synopsis and the notes for Paradise, I keyed up Lisa Picard is Famous just to get like the basic shit, whatever was on there, in there before I watched it. And then I did the synopses. And so when I was looking at it, I was like, you know what? This might actually be really good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
No.
God. You're just going to have to hit me with the synopses.
Lisa Picard is famous. Lisa Picard, Laura Kirk, is many things. Down to earth, genuine, attractive, and talented. But more than anything else, Lisa Picard is famous. This is going to be a hard one to go through, huh?
Yeah, the movie starts, and Griffin Dunne, he filmed all of the talking head interviews himself. And it just like some old dude talking about being like in the biz, you know? And so I'm like, oh no, is this like a David Guest ripoff kind of a thing?
Christopher Guest?
Yeah. I'm still on the Beckhams. It's not, thankfully. But I didn't realize it was going to be a mockumentary or that Griffin Dunne was in it. I thought he was just the director.
Okay.
Right. But he's in it quite a bit, especially towards the end. And Lisa Picard, I mean, she's really a nobody.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be like her. She's going to be famous.
Yeah.
I'll follow her.
Because the way they set it up, you're thinking she is on her way.
Yeah.
He just is like right on the cusp of her blowing up.
Like he's seen some really good performances and he finds her interesting. Like I think there's actual people that are on the verge of, not on the verge of stardom, but like seem like maybe they could be stars. Yeah, this is not one of them.
No, not at all. And neither is Nat, or whatever her friend's name is in the movie. So it gets a little silly when he does find fame, but he's just following her around and she agrees to let him film it. It's just him, a handheld camera, and a boom mic guy.
But then apparently at another point, there's two cameras. He's holding a handheld camera, and then there's somebody else with the main camera.
And then eventually he's not on the camera at all. So he's following her around, and she's just like beaming, and you're like, okay, this could be something. And she was in a Chex commercial, which was odd because it was actually Chex.
Yeah.
Where she's just wakes up in bed and she's making out with a guy.
Sex checks.
And all of a sudden they pull out a big bowl of Chex.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pouring it into each other's mouth, and it looks
weird.
like semen.
Yeah.
Pouring down their face. And then it becomes like a furor. Oh my God, no sex checks or whatever, which really doesn't come into play at all. They talk about it, but whatever. So she's trying to land a gig. She did like a crab and some sort of a children's presentation.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's like a SpongeBob character that she's performing as, or because the kids they had weird octopus hats on or whatever. So it seemed like.
Kind of thought she's at the aquarium or something.
Oh, maybe. That makes actually a lot more sense. But she's trying to book a gig to be on like an aspirin commercial eventually. And
she's about to be on CBS or NBC in a made-for-TV movie with Melissa Gilbert.
The phone call or call for help or something.
Call for help.
And her friend, he's like a total loser. He's like a real Nick Swardson kind of guy. But he is trying to put on a one-man show. Mm-hmm. That sounds awful. They run into Sandra Bullock.
I mean, it looks awful when we see it.
The first
time,
yeah. Kind of pulls it together a little bit. Gets away from the props.
They see Sandra Bullock at the post office?
Yeah.
I took my headphones out because I was so uncomfortable with them accosting Sandra Bullock. And she thinks that they've met before initially because of the way they're addressing her.
Right.
And they're like, oh, no, we don't know you. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, this is the point where I realize how much of a nobody she is.
Yeah.
Because, they do approach her. And they don't really say, like, how have you been or anything. But you could tell Sandra's struggling to recognize who they are, but feels like she should.
I think because they give her their full names, like
maybe.
as though they've met before.
Yeah, maybe.
Lisa Picard, Nat DeLong, whatever it is.
And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, we don't know you, but we don't want your autograph or anything. And she's like, okay. And they just like keep coming back. Here's this one-man show, and she gets a beep, a page.
And she has to use Sandra's phone.
She just takes it, basically. Calls her dude, and she's like, oh, I got an audition for the aspirin. And eventually they get out of there.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Interesting to see her back in it's somewhere in the 2000s.
2000.
Okay. This is kind of the Julia Roberts situation where, like, I always liked Sandra Bullock. I found her charming. Mm-hmm. Like, I even had a little bit of a crush on her.
Occasionally I find her attractive.
In Speed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I found her, like, really pretty and charming in this. In her small portion.
So after seeing that, then I'm like, because I happened to see the casting. And so I'm like, oh, so there's just going to be like all of these famous people as themselves are just going to be like peppered throughout this movie. And that's not the case. Now, there is a moment, I don't know if you realize this, you probably did because you're a smart guy, when Lisa is walking down the street and two street toughs start to antagonize her.
Yeah.
And they eventually push the mic guy down, or the camera guy, and they're going to beat him up. The taller one was Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They didn't strike me as actual street toughs at all.
No.
They didn't have that vibe at all.
They just guys goofing off.
Yeah, it seemed like somebody's like, yeah, you guys be street toughs? And they're just two regular dudes.
And I looked at the crew just to see if maybe he was like something. And then they just put him in there. But I guess this is like an acting gig for him.
Like he's probably met Griffin Dunne.
Yeah.
Griffin Dunne's just rounding up the people he knows.
And so, eventually we meet Lisa's boyfriend, like eventually. It takes a while. I
like him.
I do too.
I've seen him in other things.
Yeah.
He's an old joy.
God damn it. I have work to do. Am I having a fucking stroke? Is this the afterlife?
We should jump off the roof. That's the exit to the Matrix.
Yeah, let's do it. That should stir up some old joy. You stop saying it's not a fucking catchphrase.
Remember when you wanted to do little snapshots of people and pick a handful of their movies?
Mm-hmm.
He is somebody I would do that with.
I almost looked him up because I'm familiar with him, but I just couldn't place it. He's probably on Seinfeld.
No, but he was on Fringe.
But that doesn't happen yet. So I think eventually Nat shows them a clip of him on a soap opera, and she was spot on. She's like, dude, you're a background, extra, but you're drawing way too much attention to yourself. That's why you didn't get called back.
Yeah.
She didn't say that, but we all knew it.
He's very
because it is inappropriate.
Yeah.
You see him looking at the camera. You see him laughing hysterically in the back when the lady's having like her tear jerk moment, the main actor.
Mm-hmm.
And he just is so pissed. He storms off. This is when we meet the boyfriend. And eventually we go to Nat's one-man show. It's terrible. First off, it's 2000. And he's putting out a show talking about, like the taboo struggles of being homosexual in America.
He's in New York.
In New York.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And he's tying himself up in plastic yellow chains, and
he's in his underwear.
He's in his undies. He's showing a mirror to the audience, like, look at you. And there's like 4 people there.
And they start walking out. The few that are
One
there.
guy does. Yeah. He's like, fuck this. And he walks out. And they're like, yeah, awesome, dude. But he's like, I fucked up. And they're like, no, it's totally word or whatever. So she goes down to the interview for the thing. She's super late, the aspirin. She's dressed like Dora the Explorer. She's supposed to be playing a college person, but she's dressed like she's like 13, aside from the belly ring.
Yeah.
Pigtails.
I mean, she's shooting 12 years younger than her, for sure.
But college age.
I don't know. I feel like you
need a flannel. You don't need a fucking pink t-shirt with like some children's
I
thing
don't know,
on
man.
there.
It's 99, 2000,
Yeah, maybe it's just me. So she's bombing, but the other woman's bombing too. But eventually that woman gets the gig.
That woman's gorgeous.
And throughout this...
acknowledge.
Oh, yeah. I know her. To some extent, I feel.
She seems like she'd be in something.
She reminds me of like Kate Bosworth.
Yeah, I was thinking like a Malin Ackerman type, like just beautiful.
Jules thinks it might be Joelle Carter from Justified.
Now, throughout this, Griffin Dunne pulls aside people. He's like, do you think she's got what it takes?
It's such a crazy thing to say to somebody.
She says it to the model in front of the Lisa. So obviously the woman's going to be polite.
Yeah.
And then, but this is really funny. Right as they're walking away, that big guy with the bald head, the wild hair, he's looking.
Oh, God. Yeah.
What are y'all filming, eh?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we're just doing a documentary about it. He goes, oh, word?
Making that face.
I was in Conan? Did he say?
Was that some sci-fi show?
I was on 4 episodes
Hercules,
of Conan. Hercules. Yeah, they killed me. They killed me once, eh? He goes, oh, you're an actor too? He goes, yeah. He reminded me of Ricky Gervais.
Oh, sure, an extras?
Yeah, like the way he is like really excited. He's walking away, but he keeps drawing himself back, and just divulges all of his shit. That guy was awesome.
You like that guy?
I did. She didn't get the part, though.
No.
The model did. And they tell her to her face, you suck, basically.
That model's pretty funny, too, when Griffin Dunne's like trying to interrogate her and she's like uncomfortable and trying to like dip out and the camera basically hits her in the face.
Because at the casting agent or the whatever agent, when Lisa's trying to get in and we see him, the agent with the model, and we learn that she's got the part, she turns to walk away and like sees Griffin Dunne. And you could tell there's a moment where she's like, oh, this guy? What the fuck? And she's just like, I'm out. So yeah, Lisa didn't get the gig.
It's really creepy when Griffin Dunne's like, you're beautiful.
He does, yeah.
Immediately when he meets her.
God, yeah.
She knows.
Yeah, he does. And so then Nat, they get into an argument about something. I don't remember what. Oh, and then her movie finally airs. And predictably,
she's been cut.
They cut her the fuck 100%. Out of there.
100%.
And her boyfriend, he's going to propose to her. And they're all there. And Griffin Dunne's like losing his shit. He's melting down.
And all of his money's invested in making this doc.
Well, yeah. And like right at the very end, I'll jump ahead, but I'm going to go back. When the cameraman's like backing away from Lisa and the boyfriend on the bed, he says something like, the director's compromised. The director's compromised. So then the sound guy grabs the slate because they got to end the scene. But she's freaking out. Her boyfriend eventually, he does propose to her. And she's like, what? What?
Not like this. Not like this.
Not like this.
What? I'm 26 or something. 29. And she's just freaking. So she stops doing the doc. And Griffin Dunne's like talking to Nat at his show, and then all of a sudden Charlie Sheen's there.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Spike Lee's there. Maybe one or two other people. I didn't remember seeing anybody's name pop up.
Can I be completely honest?
I need you to be.
At about the 45-minute mark, my brain just turned off.
Absolutely. I looked at the time and I was like, fuck, there's still 40 minutes of this movie left?
I like very vaguely paid attention to the rest of this. Like, I hate this movie.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
I was like, God, I just kind of want to skip ahead.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of movie where you really can't.
I was going to like try to watch the last 45 again.
Yeah.
Just never got to it.
It's awful. But Nat's blowing up. Charlie Sheen's there. He loves it.
Let me just tell you this, Bob. Let me tell you this, okay? Let me tell you this. If you own the home in which you own the trash can, you should never have to empty it ever, ever, ever again.
They're going to get rid of him, get rid of Nat, and get Charlie Sheen in the
Spike
movie.
Lee's there. Griffin Dunne falls when he goes to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, man, I wouldn't imagine you to be here. And he goes, yeah, I wasn't going to come, but I figured I'd check it out, and I'm glad I did, you know? And he goes, so are you interested?
You'd play a gay character?
Well, Spike. He's talking to Spike still.
Okay.
Goes, you're interested in directing something like this? He's like, I don't know. And then Charlie comes over with Nat, who's still in his underwear.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, hey, Spike, you thinking about doing this? We're here optioning the movie. I was figured I'd play him. Spike's like, oh, word. Well, I was thinking, you know, man, why don't you produce it? And Nat can be the star. And Nat's like, oh, my God. And Griffin Dunne's there. And Charlie's like, oh, yeah, you really think so, huh? And Nat's like, but I mean, like, if you want to do it. Charlie's like, yeah, I mean, and him and Spike leave to have dinner.
Charlie Sheen seems kind of sober in this.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like a window in time where he wasn't getting all fucking crazy? He seems like he's trying.
Let me see for a second here. Let me see for 1 second here. If you would just allow me. Yeah, he was coming off of being John Malkovich,
Okay,
which he was sober at that point.
Right.
And these things were just sort of like, can I dip my toe back in?
Wouldn't that have been cool if he wasn't a crackhead and like we got to have a real Charlie Sheen resurgence, not just two shitty TV shows,
like a Downey resurgence, right? Like come out on top and be like the biggest actor in the world.
Yeah. Or even, I mean, it really doesn't have to be that big, but like we all got to enjoy Charlie Sheen being in quality projects for the next 20 years.
Because he totally could have done like an old man Bill Murray phase, but like when he was significantly younger than Bill Murray when he started to research and then become a creeper. But he could have just, he could have just been around, man.
I was just thinking about how gorgeous Lucy Liu was when I was watching
so
Red
gorgeous,
One.
yeah.
She's really something.
Yeah.
I like her too.
Yeah.
I always like seeing her in things. It's not just because she is a babe amongst babes.
Yeah.
She's got a charm to her. I like her vibe.
Yeah, like I like seeing her in things.
Yeah.
And I would like to just like go over and have like a charcuterie board or something with her.
That'd be nice.
You know, and just
we'll stop being creeps. We'll just
Johnny Lee Walker would come by.
Johnny Lee
Miller would come by because they were in that show together.
Was she on that show?
She was Watson.
Was it Elementary?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was Watson.
I never saw a single episode.
I watched the entire series. So it seems like shit's going up and Nat no longer talks to Lisa. The director can't get a hold of her. Eventually he does, and she catches wind that Nat's now added a line in his play about her.
Mm-hmm.
And Nat's dating a man, and all of a sudden we see a clip from the Charlie Sheen movie, and it's him and Mira Sorvino.
Yeah.
And he even says, like, he does the line, the pivotal line from the play where he's like, the anger, the crime, the violence, this is my America. But he's with a woman instead of being gay. And I thought this was actually really funny because the lines are there.
That's a super sellout.
It's just completely out of context. And when Griffin Dunne asks Nat, so what up with that? He goes, well, you know, they decided to focus on a more background character from my play.
Oh, yeah, the woman that doesn't exist.
The guy's like, you were the only one in the play. But you remember like the phone call segment, you know? So I guess he's probably doing like voices or whatever. And yeah, they just make a fucking, you know, Sleepless in Seattle or whatever. Yeah. But he must have got paid.
Yeah.
because he seems to be living and he's writing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether that's going to go anywhere or not. So then Griffin Dunne.
I mean, you got like a few projects after that first one.
Yeah.
And then you become all of these directors that we follow their movies. We find out they had 2 movies that were kind of okay. And then they did 20 years of trash.
And so Griffin Dunne finagles a impromptu meeting between Lisa and Nat. They become friends again. He wants to do an interview. They leave. And the camera's following them down the street. And he goes, oh, hey, let's get a cab. And he hails a cab. She gets into it. Another one pulls up. He gets into that one. And that movie ends.
This movie sucks.
This movie sucks.
It's fucking terrible.
Big time. I don't even like any of the actors. To be honest, I didn't like Lisa Picard.
She's really off-putting.
Yes. And I thought she was Alyssa Milano on the cover.
I looked her up and I was like, oh yeah, that lady. And then I was watching and I was like, nope, I don't know this lady.
Her and Nat wrote the movie.
Yeah.
Griffin Dunne directed it.
I feel like I looked up Nat too, and he's got like almost nothing under his belt.
Mira Sorvino and Griffin Dunne were of many producers.
They all lost their money.
Oh, and then they do show at the very end what seems like her filming her scene from the movie, the TV movie where it got cut.
Yeah.
But it's completely different because we see that performance earlier before the movie airs on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing like a white sweater or something. And there's like a full back and forth. But in this, she's got a black leather coat on. And the conversation ends like immediately. She goes, don't hang up. And she hangs up, which we know she doesn't do in the movie. So, and then they cut and everybody hugs her. So I'm like, well, what the fuck is this?
Doesn't matter.
And no, it doesn't, because I really hate this. It's completely worthless.
There's like nothing to hold on to in this.
I don't even understand why anybody would have made this. Unless they just got a new camera and they wanted to test it out.
Is that Spike Lee dig? I don't.
How does he, through Martin?
What?
Do you think he got Spike hooked through Martin? Griffin Dunne? Him and Scorsese are homies? Spike?
I'm sure.
How do you think he landed Spike?
I'm sure they like rub elbows. Maybe they produce something together. Griffin Dunne's around. Like, he's acting far less than he's doing all the other things.
I guess, but I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you this. What did you think of Spike's performance?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't expecting there to be any lines.
I barely fucking remember it.
To be honest. I thought it, because they show Charlie Sheen, it says. Yeah. They show Spike Lee, it says. I thought, oh, that's it.
Yeah. It was nice to see Spike, I guess. He wasn't like bad. Mm-hmm. The movie's bad.
Mm-hmm. What about this?
Yeah.
What about this? After Charlie Sheen walks away in the movie,
yeah,
and Mira Sorvino's standing there, what if Mookie walked up and delivered a pizza?
I think we might have gotten angry.
For this?
Eventually Mookie's going to come back in this series, though. So
yeah, I would give Spike a 5 just because it was actually nice to see him, and he was just being Spike.
Yeah,
you could tell there was a brief moment where he almost broke. When the guy's standing there in his underwear, he was like, "Yeah, we were all moved."
Yeah, 5 sounds fine, dude.
Yeah,
yeah. What do you give this movie? This is on the list of movies that I feel like I was angry watching it.
Yeah, I don't. Once you get like sub 4, it almost starts to feel like cruel. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 3.
I'm going to give it a 3 also. It's fluffy nothing.
Yeah. So that's it. You can find us on Linktree.
Yep.
linktr.ee/ We Doing Filmographies.
Oh, shit. That's the name of the show.
It is, coincidentally enough.
That's wild.
You know what else is the name of the show? The email. But you got to put a gmail.com at the end there.
Make sure you get that @ symbol in there.
Oh, yeah.
You can also type in We Doing Filmographies on your phone, and it'll call 763-634-1897. Don't put those numbers in. Type in We Doing Filmographies. Mm-hmm. Use your T9s.
You can also rate us on Apple Podcast.
Oh, yeah, we didn't say it.
We didn't. You can give us that $5.
Damn it.
You can write like a voluminous, glowing review.
Yeah.
Highlighting all of the things you like about us.
And Griffin Dunne, you can give us 0 stars.
Yeah.
We give your movie 3.
And you can suggest a film for us to watch. You know, whatever.
I bet if you suggested another Griffin Dunne movie, it would have been better than this.
You know, you could even suggest that we watch some Taylor home movies of him growing up as a young man in America.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Taylor from the liquor store?
Yeah. Call us, folks.
The listeners are going to review us and tell us to watch Taylor's home movies growing up.
Yeah. And we call up as folks. We say, we need those reels.
They know about Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Because of the shirts.
That's in the future.
Yeah, I guess it is. Don't forget, he's Jason.
And that's Julian over there. And good night.